Hey guys, so this is going to be a review of the Barbie movie. This may be longer than I thought it was going to be. So anyway, I'm going to start off with what, by the way, this is spoiled. This whole thing is going to be a spoiler review just because I feel I need to get to the nitty gritty, and to get to the nitty gritty, unfortunately, there's going to be spoilers. So, first thing, I don't know what this film is aimed at child-wise, because obviously we know Barbie is a kid's film. I felt this film isn't going to intrigue people under the age of, I want to say under the age of 12, or even maybe 13, 10, 12 maybe. Under 10s, this is... the reason why I say this is a very heavy political feminist movie. Well, not so much political, but feminist, and I feel that people under the age of 10 don't care. And it's heavy in the second half. So I was watching this and I was thinking, who is this aimed at? Like, I don't see it. I think this is more so people who maybe people in their kind of teens, 13, 14, but even then 13, 14 is technically when you stop playing with Barbies. I don't know. I was a complete opposite. Well, actually, I wasn't I'm not going to be honest, I wasn't really a Barbie fan. It was kind of like Bratz around like 14, 15. Anyway, it was kind of that kind of thing where I feel that under 10s don't really care about feminism. I'll get into that anyway. But yeah, so basically this film is about, you get, intrigues, Barbie world, and things start to go wrong. So what I really like how Barbie world is and how it's set up is literally how it is when you're playing with a Barbie. So when she's like pouring a drink, obviously nothing's coming out. When she's in the shower, nothing's coming out until it all goes to hell and it all gets messed up. But anyway, so I do really like that aspect of it. It's kind of stuck to kind of the world of Barbie and how Barbie is when you're playing with it. So it's not like this magical thing where our water is flowing and stuff like that. It's literally stuck to exactly how it is. Now the reason why it's kind of how the Barbie, which is played by Margaret Robbie. I can't remember what kind of Barbie she's supposed to be. I can't remember now what they called her. But anyway, so basically the reason why she's kind of having all these feelings, her feet's kind of going flat on the floor, is it turns out the person who's playing with her is very kind of sad and like upset, and that's basically passed on to her, so she has to go to the real world. And then we find out it's actually not the child that's playing with her, it's an adult, which I kind of like that kind of aspect of it. Now, I'm not going to go to every detail of the film because we'll be here forever, but we'll get into the bit. So you've got on the other side, you've got Mattel, and you've got the CEO of Mattel, Will Ferrell, played by Will Ferrell, where he's kind of, obviously he finds out there's a Barbie and Ken running around the real world. And apparently this has happened before with Skipper. But anyway, so there's that kind of thing that's going on as well. So you have Barbie World, that suppresses males, let's be honest. Well, in this world it does anyway. Suppresses males. And you got the real world that suppresses females. Now this is where Ken comes along, and this is one of those things where I don't think it's like a Barbie film. I think it's more of a Ken film. I don't know. For the film I kind of felt sorry for Ken. So Ken is obviously all his life is living in Barbie world, where, the Barbies are the queen bees of that world, and he comes to the real world and realizes, wait a minute, there's men that kind of are the upper whatsits of this world. And he obviously, his brain gets a bit gets a bit brainwashed, and well, he brings these ideas to Barbie world and he screws up Barbie world with it. But again, you can't but help feel sorry for Ken, because let's be honest, he's been suppressed for all this long, and then he suddenly realizes, he tries to like get jobs in the real world, but realizes, you need qualifications, so he brings it all back to Barbie world. Meanwhile, Barbie thinks a way to fix this is to bring the mother who was playing with the mother who's playing with her to the Barbie world, and she takes her daughter with them. And then when we go to Barbie world, we realise Ken's kind of completely turned it around, and it's kind of like, yep, this is no longer Barbie world, this is more Ken world. And then Barbie kind of falls into pieces, because at this point she's starting to get human emotion. And on that, going back to the human emotion, there's a time when she's in the park, and she just, it's sad when she's in the real world, because she realizes that she thought she was a maid, you know, to help this world, and she thought when she was going to the real world she'll see all these females in power and stuff, and realizes the complete opposite. And actually people don't really like Barbie that much, because, you know, the girl mentions why anyway, which is another thing, which I don't think a girl of her age would get that much into, like, feminism. It doesn't make any sense. But anyway, carrying on, we see like an emotional, basically, Barbie realizing this world's this hopeless. And then when she goes back to Barbie world, she's like, oh my god, again. It's more so she gets all these emotions and she doesn't know how to deal with them. I mean, in the end, they managed to get it back, but the ending, I liked it. It wasn't back to the old Barbie suppressing Ken again. It was more so Ken is not just, you know, you have your own thing. Like, it's not, she goes, it's not just, it's Barbie. Not because Ken's frustrated because it's like he's nothing without Barbie. But then Barbie's like, it's Ken. It's Barbie. It's Ken. You can go find your own kind of thing to do. And that's kind of the whole thing. That's why I felt sorry for Ken all throughout the film, because he realizes that, you know, all this time, you know, it could have been something, but then takes it completely, flips it completely the wrong way around, because he's influenced by the real world. And then, yeah, and then she brings it back, which I really like. It didn't go full on, because I don't want to really get into in this video, but I'm not really feminist, which is weird seeing as I am female, just because I feel that a lot of it, especially the modern day, is just men hating. And for me, I'm all about equal rights for men and females. I think at this point, especially the modern feminist is kind of going a bit too far, and it's just hating on male. I'm all about like equality, which I like how that movie ends on. And at this point as well, Barbie doesn't feel like Barbie anymore. She just doesn't know what she is anymore. And then in the end, basically, she ends up in the real world. It's funny because right at the end, you think she's going to an interview for a job. Turns out she's going to see a gynecologist, which is mentioned earlier on, the fact that they don't have like privates, which is pretty funny. There's also Easter eggs in the movie as well. There's dolls, which if you don't know much about, you know, the Barbie toys and stuff, you probably won't get. But there's a few dolls out there that are in the film that are discontinued, including the dog that shits, which ended up getting recalled because magnets and kids swallowing them, and swallowing magnets is not great. Also to mention as well, in the beginning, I like how it was like introduced, an introduction to Barbie. If you are going, like, if you're an adult going with your parents, and if you're an adult going with your child and you don't necessarily know much about Barbie, you just know your kid wants Barbie, then it's a cool like introduction to, you know, Barbie and stuff. I mean, overall it is an enjoyable film. I got a feeling I wouldn't say it was shy. Like, there's a lot of people saying it's rubbish, and I'm going to assume they're 50-year-old men that still live at home in their mother's basement. Because it is enjoyment in it. I feel that I'm going to assume it's men that hate this movie, because even I found enjoyment in it. Like, I don't know, I just don't think this is a kid's film as such. I mean, it is labelled as a 12A. I assume, just in case. I think the target audience is basically for 12 up, but because it's a Barbie film, they kind of, you know, they're like, parents are going to moan. There are innuendos in there, but kids aren't really going to get it, really. And there's not a lot of them in it. I mean, there's a Barbie that says, I think she says fuck, but it's bleeped out anyway. But as I said, I think they made it a 12A just because parents are going to be like, well, it's a Barbie movie, I want to take my kid to it. But if I'm being honest, I don't think an under 10-year-old is going to enjoy this movie. It was a race out of 10. I'll give it an 8. As I said, it's an enjoyable film. It has some like empowering things for like younger women. But yeah, that's it for this review. So bye guys.